Wait for the horns, baby.
Sugar pie, honey bunch. You know that I love you. Oh, you guys asked for it,
What
so
have
you got it.
unleashed?
Come on, you asked for it, you got it.
What have you unleashed? And my God, if you are not listening, you have got to see this man's dance moves.
And welcome back to the Gunslinger Syndicated Radio Network. And again, we this is like always. We're going to continue the show just as is with Jeff at home right now. We're all just, I'm going to bring you up every segment, so don't even think that you're going to be out of sight, out of mind. So, yeah, just continue to give your thoughts and prayers, and we're actually going to keep it rolling, get with Rick from the CRPA. Hey, Rick, what's going on?
Hey, guys. It's so good to hear your voices. I've been texting Jeff in the background, so I know he's doing good, and so that's always good.
Absolutely. It's always great to hear your voice. Good news, bad news, we like to stay afloat with everything you got going on.
Yeah, so I wasn't on last week, but I did see some of your comments, and so I wanted to address those to help everybody out. So I was going to go through the 4 bills that did go through and get the signatures and kind of explain what we're doing on our end and the impact to everybody where we sit right now. So AB 1127, that is the Gabriel bill, also known as the Glock ban. Mm-hmm. So I want to let everybody know that doesn't go into effect till July 1st. And so there is a lawsuit that is pending right now. But everybody's looking at it because one of the things that people have to realize is while we're all wincing, while we're all upset, and rightfully so, and, you know, I've been upset about this bill since the day it broke daylight back in January of this year. Mm-hmm. But it does not go into effect until July 1st. And that's important for people to realize because people are like, why aren't you suing me? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? Because nothing's changed yet. There is no harm. And we've talked about this before on the show with other bills. Mm-hmm. So we are geared up, but we're not doing anything probably till sometime towards the end of June, and then that's when we'll launch our counteroffensive. There's also a couple other things that could happen between now and then. There's some moves that Glock could make, some moves that DOJ could make that could make this whole thing go away. Okay. So do not lose hope. But one of the other things that people are saying is, oh, no Glock can be moved at all. Private party transfers are not impacted by this bill.
So they are definitely still allowed.
Right. So for people like, oh, I have to ditch my Glock. No, you don't. Calm down. Don't have to ditch your Glock. You're not going to lose it. You won't be able to offer it for sale, but you will be able to do private party transfers. So this impacts FFLs more than anything else. Like new Glock Gen 3s won't come in, but the ones that are there could still be sold as a private party transfer. So I want to make sure everybody understands that.
I did get at the town hall. I did get a few questions about that today, if they were going to be, and I'm glad you're able to clarify that because I was assuming that the ones that are here would be able to transfer. Auctions probably wouldn't be affected as much. Grandfathered.
Yeah, and there's some work that we're doing to try to get Gen 6s in the state. So if we're able to pull that off, that would make this pretty much okay, whatever. And that's our goal. So Assembly Bill 1078, that is the 3 guns and 30, and also so the CCW application, again, that doesn't go into effect till April 1st. Now, that's really weird, and that's one of the things to keep cautioning people realize that many times, as we all know in California, bills go into effect either January or July of a year. So April 1st is a weird off date that they put in there. And so some people have asserted, and maybe possibly so, that they're trying to catch somebody. There's not a lot to catch with this bill, but we're waiting until the end of March before we would file anything on this bill. And we're still working on with the courts because, remember, Nguyen v. Bonta said any kind of limit on this would be a constitutional error. Mm-hmm. So as a result, we're still fighting that to say, hey, you can't do that. This is not allowed. Gibson's bill, which is the Ghost Gun Bill 1263, that doesn't go into effect till January of this year. Mm-hmm. So that is the one that everyone's looking at and we're working on. That will probably be, if of the lawsuits, the very first one to be launched. And us and several other organizations are coordinating that attack. And then the last one, which is the Firearms Bill, Senate Bill 704, that doesn't take place till July 1st of 2027. Okay. So we have time to fight that, and that may get knocked out by one of the court decisions because we have several decisions that are staying up at the Supreme Court waiting to see if they get the writ granted for them to hear that. And so that's what the whole month of October and November is about, is us waiting every day to see what they decide to take and what they don't.
Okay, so another waiting period and then an extended waiting period until these somewhat come into effect, so we can actually show probable cause of damages, show harm and all that.
Correct.
Okay, so everyone out there, you see all these things coming down the line, but that does not mean that they're coming to effect just because you heard it that it passed and not.
Yeah, and I get it, but there's a lot of people out there on social media that use some of this stuff as clickbait, to get their social media going. I get that. It's discussion points, but literally the sky's not falling. We're holding our ground. We're doing good. Remember, we pushed back. Remember, we killed the majority of what they sent at us. Only 4 bills really got through this year, and we have a counteroffensive that we're launching in January, and I think this is going to push back even harder. So, despite all the things that happened to our community this year, we're winning.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's the important point that people need to remember.
Yeah, in this fight, we are showing that we're gaining ground. There are some things going on. Yes, these inappropriate measures have been filed and gone through and all that, but that doesn't mean that the fight's stopping or it's not as strong as we were in the beginning of this year.
Yeah, the biggest thing I would say is to the listeners, check your utility bills, because a lot of times that's where your local government inserts the devious stuff that they're doing, and like many of us, you pay your bill and you throw the rest of it away. Don't do that. Grab those bill inserts, look at them, and if you see that there's something heinous going on and impacting your Second Amendment rights, let us know right away, because we at the CRPA don't get bills everywhere. So we getting that information from you guys. You're our eyes and ears out there, and so make sure you get that to us as quickly as possible so we can do something about it.
That is good advice, and it wouldn't. I know that Jeff is listening instead of sitting in the big chair, but it wouldn't be a Gunslinger show if we didn't ask for our friends online anything on the 11% tax. Sorry to do that to you, buddy.
I knew that was going to come up.
I didn't want you. Didn't want you not to. I didn't want you to feel alone.
No, I can feel Jeff on the show.
He's here in spirit.
And just to be fair, that's the start of almost every phone call I have with Jeff. So, so I know the 11% excise tax bill is now a multi-state lawsuit, and so that's where it's sitting. I know that Chuck Michelle, our president, and arguably the finest Second Amendment lawyer in the land, has been meeting with people for the last 2 weeks over that. And so I talked to Chuck this afternoon, ironically, and I said, I'm going to get asked this question. And he said, hey, don't worry about it. We'll have an answer here in a week or so. So there's my answer. Don't worry. We're working on it.
Hey, you got the best working on it. So, okay, folks, you
bless
heard it
you,
here.
bless the CRPA, man. And I'll tell you what, Jimmy, let's make this promise.
Let's do it.
You know what we're going to do next week? We're going to not ask you that question, Rick.
You know what? Because
wow.
You're going to get a 1 week little peradishka there, a little breathing space.
Wow.
And okay.
Thank you, guys.
We love you, man.
To me.
And since we were at the town hall meeting, we heard a couple candidates for governor and all that.
Yep.
And with it, I know we're all hoping and praying for a change in there. Once they are in power, say, how hard and how quickly do you think they'd be able to help overturn some of these? No,
that's an excellent question. Here's what's going to come down to, guys, and this is why it's all hands on deck. For step one, before we even get to the governor's race, if we don't stop Prop 50, it wouldn't matter which guy got in. Or if one of them decided to run for lieutenant governor, the other one ran for governor, and they both got in, it wouldn't matter, because we would be so slanted. Already, Californians don't think about this, but, basically 40% of the population voted for Donald Trump, 60% voted for Kamala Harris, yet in Congress, we only have about 18% representation for the Trump side, and everything else is represented. And when this moves over, we would be like 92% Democrat represented. That's what the governor's going for. That's an absolute lockdown, which would really prevent a lot of things from happening, because what people are like, but Rick, that's congressional races. Yes, it is. But that also means Democratic National Committee money being set into those districts and areas that they haven't been able to get into. And that could break some of the different city councils, some of the boards of supervisors, some of the sheriff's races, everything. This is not just isolated to, 5 to 8 seats that they're trying to overturn. This is literally going after several counties to turn them blue by just sheer money being poured into this. And you have to follow money. You have to look at how unconstitutional this is and stop it there. The other one is voter ID. We get those two things across, and we could get a lot more than just a governor and possibly a lieutenant governor into office, but we could also break the stranglehold on both the Senate and the Assembly. And then, yes, we could get these things overturned fairly rapidly.
Okay, and that was a big discussion point of the night over at the town hall, that, yes, there is a 45% Democratic kind of population here, but that means that there's 55% of non-democratic
that are various
voters.
other parties and or Republicans.
Yes. So
that we got to get those people to vote.
Yes.
They got to show up, especially in just a couple of weeks on November 4th. If they haven't turned in those ballots already, they've got to show up and vote.
Yes,
yeah, and that's huge, because all these things that you're fighting for on your front, the education board fighting for on their fronts, for all these different kind of sane thought processes going through some of these committees, this will change all of that from them. They're going to be on the back foot for every decision they make, and this is huge, folks. So if you haven't voted yet, if you haven't mailed it in or whatever you do, make sure you're doing it before the deadline.
Get on down and get it done. And
yeah,
side note,
I tell everybody, this is the fight for not just California, but for the country, because this is the stranglehold right now on the nation, and we have got to break it here. We can break it. To everybody out there, it's a naysayer or a stick in the mud or an ER. Give me a break, because we were told many, many things that CRPA has accomplished. 3 years ago, we wouldn't get accomplished, and we've nailed every one of them on behalf of every Californian. And so I don't buy that, where you're dedicated and you're pushing, and we're just asking people, a little checkbox, seal the envelope, and drop it in a box.
Easy peasy,
That's all
folks.
we're asking you to do.
Yep, and talk to your friends, your family. Make sure that they understand the attention that this definitely needs. So go ahead and go out there and make sure your vote counts, folks.
and I want to throw this out too. If those pass, if we get voter ID, and if Prop 50, if we do vote correctly no on Prop 50, that's the end of Gavin Newsom's political career.
Yeah.
And that is by itself such a big win.
Absolutely.
Rick, how can people get a hold of you, and how can they help the CRPA do the good things that you're doing?
Yeah, just go to CRPA.org, become a member, donate, and if you have questions, reach out to us at contact@CRPA.org. And God bless you guys for everything you do, and we're praying for Jeff.
Absolutely. God bless you and everything that you do. Thank you so much. And remember, folks, time, money, anything that you can to help out this cause, make sure you're doing it.
Mostly
Thanks so much.
get out there and vote. Right? Thanks, Rick.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank
God
you.
bless
Take
you.
care.
Be safe
Bye.
tonight. All right. All right, folks. Well, we're going to come up on the long break, but when we do come back, we're going to have a special phone call come in, and then we're going to be taking your phone calls.
At what number? 866-870-5752. Again, 866-870-5752.
And you're listening to the Gunslingers on the Gunslinger Syndicated Radio Network. Come on, baby. We'll be back.